Greg Clements and Zach Fehrenbaugh are up early, heading to their hopeful public land hotspot they found during the previous day's scouting mission.
Well, it's the morning of November 2nd. We're headed out to hunt a new piece of public ground that a bunch of the guys from the office scouted the other day. Aaron and Zach are also going to be hunting close by as well. But we came up with a pretty good idea of a location to go based on looking at Google Earth last night, where a lot of different cover types come together. One of the things that we're keying in on is the fact that there is virtually no sign of other hunters in the area. So with a lot of hunters taking their vacations here soon, we're going to try to get ahead of that intense hunting pressure that comes in, around the 5th through the 15th of November. We know there's at least one good buck in the area.
We came in here this morning and got set up in kind of an observation stand. We're playing it pretty safe, but we're in a pretty good funnel between bedding out in this marsh and then a hardwood ridge that's to the south of us. There's a lot of trails going north and south, and we're right in the middle of them. Sean and Greg are a couple hundred yards back to the west from us. Already this morning we've seen a doe and a shooter buck following her. I just saw them for a split second going through this little finger of timber here. They could be pretty close to us yet, so we're gonna stay on our toes. He's pushing that woodcock around. Good grief. Deer everywhere.
Well, the deer movement is really starting to pick up now. That's probably the 4th or 5th 2-year-old buck that we've seen so far. It seems like we're in the right spot. Don't move, don't move. Yeah, he's got us. There's a dog coming from our right. You just need to come right under the stand. Over here. I think the dog's heading right at us now. Man, looking right at her. Don't move. That deer is right under the stand. It's a little spike. Steps out, I'm gonna shoot.
But got him. Got him, Sean.
Nice shot. I'm on him.
can't believe that worked out. That buck, big mature buck, he's like a big tall 4x3. That's actually a deer that Aaron and Sean saw last night. They came and scouted this spot, and I got a shot at about 32 yards. Sent an arrow through him. It looked like it was just a touch back, but it was the right height, and as he was running away, I could see blood pouring out his side. Came in here, set up this morning in the dark, comes by, gives me a 30-yard shot. We got him. We got him.
Frigid Forge Trophy Clover is my choice when creating poor man's plots, small food plots that we make on a budget using just hand tools. This seed blend has several varieties, and at least one does well in every condition. The seed germinates well and grows fast, producing a huntable food plot by the first fall. Some ground blinds leave you feeling kind of boxed in and depressed, like you are sitting in a closet with the door cracked open, but not the redneck blinds. These blinds have lots of windows, including their vertical corner windows, giving you a full field of view so you can really enjoy your time outdoors, even if you aren't exactly outdoors. A bow sight doesn't have to be complex to be effective. Good sights merely need to be rugged with durable pins, and they need to have bright aiming points that you can see during every minute of legal shooting time. That is what we get with Fuse sights, rugged simplicity.
Well, we just got off the phone with Greg, and he shot a nice buck this morning, so he's not very far from us. We've had pretty good deer movement, but it's slowed down the last half hour, so we're going to get down, go recover the buck with him, and it should be pretty fun. We're pretty pumped up for him. They're right up here. Let's go see what they got.
Well, as we look back at the stand, you can see that we were pretty wide open there, not very high up, maybe 14, 15 feet. And just there's not a lot of cover, not much for a backdrop. Shot the buck over here. I'm gonna go try to find the arrow and see what the blood looks like. Oh yeah, it looks good. Bright blood, almost pinkish color on the wrap, covered. The arrow was buried under there. There's blood right away. I'm sure he's done.
Yeah. Well, sweet. Let's go find him.
What are the odds of picking?
Getting good, Sean? You got him good?
Oh, it's
Dude.
right here. There's last right there. There he is. Yep. Yes, look at that deer. Oh. Big tall fork. What a cool deer. Perfect shot.
I mean,
Dude, that's I figured if you guys walked far enough, you probably were gonna actually find him.
our stuff is behind my range, like 20 yards right there.
That's why I flagged you down, because I didn't want you to find the deer. Right.
Dude, he's a toad.
Well, what a morning it was. November 2nd. Man, he's a cool old deer. He's got a big 4-point side with a long G2, and then on the right side he's just got a big long fork with a little sticker point. So I guess technically a 7-pointer, but what really makes the trophy with this deer is just his age. Big bodied, mature deer, big frame, tall rack. He looked really impressive when he was coming in, and looks just as impressive on the ground. Got in about 4:30 this morning and did a hang and hunt. What we found on the map was a bunch of different cover types coming together, and when we got up in the tree and it started to get light, we could see what was out in front of us. Felt pretty good about the setup. Our one weakness was the fact that it was wide open. There wasn't much cover up in the tree, there wasn't much of a backdrop, like I said, what saved us on this hunt was that little spike that came up under the stand and then squared off against this guy, bristled up and walked towards him. And that kept him calm enough that he settled back down and eventually worked his way out to where I could get a shot at him. And the weather conditions this morning were less than ideal. I mean, we're all sweating like crazy right now. It's supposed to be up around 70 today, no wind. It's just real stagnant, but the deer were up and moving. And then we did actually see another solid buck that we tried to call in for Sean to get a shot at, but he ended up going the other way. So like I said, it's just been an all-around team effort with all the guys hunting on the public land, and that's what makes it really enjoyable. To be able to strategize together, learn together, and enjoy success like this together. I held it full draw for nearly a minute before I released the arrow on this buck. The Hoyt Carbon Spider's lightweight and solid back wall made it easy to remain at full draw without muscle fatigue. When the buck cleared the brush, I was ready for the shot. I grew up shooting Easton aluminum arrows back in the early 1990s and relied on their accuracy and durability to get the job done in tournaments and in the field. 25 years later, the Easton Full Metal Jacket, a carbon core wrapped in aluminum, is my arrow of choice. I love the small diameter for increased penetration and medium heavy weight for downrange kinetic energy. It was dead calm on the morning of November 2nd. Challenging conditions to hang and hunt without spooking any nearby deer, but with a muddy lineman's rope, quick sticks, and vantage stand, we were able to set up quickly, quietly, and safely, contributing to a successful hunt. Last year I used muddy trail cameras to learn about deer movement in several hard-to-access areas on public land. 6 AA batteries in these cameras will keep them running for months, and as a result, I gained valuable information about movement patterns throughout the entire season. I found the Muddy Pro Cams to not only be affordable, but reliable as well. A good headlamp is essential for us when accessing, scouting, and hanging stands in the dark on public land. The Cabela's Alaskan Guide headlamps are bright, long-lasting on 2 AA batteries, and stand up to the elements that we put them through.
As the public land team wraps up their celebration, 100 miles to the northeast, Zach Rozmus is heading back after the big 10-pointer that he encountered yesterday.
Well, today is November 2nd, and it just feels like one of those days where a big buck's going to be on his feet. We got a rainy, kind of overcast day. It's still in the low 60s today, but it feels cooler than that, a little breezy. Today is the first time we've had actually a north wind. We elected to come back to the twig today. The reason being, we saw some great buck activity last night, so hopefully that'll kind of continue into the night. We're really just hoping we can get these bucks cruising this ridge line somewhere and then either grunt them in or hopefully naturally funnel them through the area that we call the gate. But excited to be in the tree tonight, and hopefully we can put one on the ground.
Hurry. He's gonna go down quick.
He's down.
That wore me out. That might be one of the biggest roller coaster rides I've ever been on in a stand. I mean, to have a buck of that caliber, that's a nice deer. That's a big buck. They were within 50 yards for how long has it been? An hour and a half, maybe? Maybe not that long, but I rushed the shot. I knew I did, but I knew that we were going to run into the same thing we ran into before when if he would have gotten to that stuff, because I think she caught me on the draw, the doe right below me. She caught me on the draw, and I was just thinking in my head, you know, you're not going to get a shot at this deer, and I hit him back, but I'm pretty confident I hit that femoral artery, which that'll put him down pretty quick, which not exactly how you draw it up every single time, but man, that's a big deer. That's a big deer, dude.
Congrats,
that was
man.
awesome.
He's down.
That was awesome.
60 yards away.
Man, he is in there. Well, we finally made it happen on November 2nd. It was kind of one of those days when we came in tonight, both Noel and I talked, that it just felt like it was right. We had a little bit of rain come through earlier today, and even rain when we were on our way out to the stand today, but that's probably, you know, the biggest roller coaster I've ever been on while hunting. Just how quick he came in the hunt. You know, it was right at, you know, right before 4 o'clock, I think is what it was, like 3:30, right in there he came in and was around the stand for what seemed like forever. Bedded down with a doe. Like I said, they were just a roller coaster from the beginning, and highs and lows, and then it ended on a definite high.
Zach's shot was back, but he clipped the femoral artery, killing the deer very quickly. A large cutting diameter broadhead like the Rocket Hammerhead is perfect for creating large wound channels on deer, resulting in more blood loss for shots such as this. Ozonics makes two models, the HR200 and the HR300. The 200 is more affordable but lacks some of the features and produces less ozone than the 300. But even with these limitations, we have had good success fooling most of the deer most of the time using this more affordable option. One of the biggest challenges we face when planting food plots is getting larger seeds, like soybeans, in the ground at the proper depth. Doing this requires a drill or planter. You can't just throw them out in hope. This is one of the strengths of the RTP Genesis seeder. It plants large seeds at the perfect depth for consistent germination and a solid stand.
While hunting public land, we hunt several different units with varying types of vegetation. We hunt anything from open grasslands to big timber, and our camo pattern of choice is Realtree Extra. We've had success staying concealed on the ground and in a tree stand.
We aren't biologists, but some of the top names in the business swear by the more than 65 minerals found in the trophy rock. It contains not only the macronutrients that you find in other products, but all the micronutrients needed in proper balance for a healthy herd. November 2nd was another epic day of increased buck movement. We continue to look ahead. The forecast can only get better, and each day brings us closer to the very best week of the season. After 10 days of tunnel vision, I now have but one buck on my mind. I don't think I will even shoot another one, no matter how big. That is how badly I want to connect the dots on Skinny. With each day I am closing in, tightening the noose. Patience remains the key to success, so I stick to the fringes and make a last-minute dash to a redneck blind.
This spot would be to the extreme south end of where we've been picking up any photos of this buck Skinny. You know, I try to stay in the game whenever possible because I'm not too excited about shooting another buck, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to go other spots unless I'm just going to shoot does. But I'm trying to spend as much time as I can right around the fringes of this buck's, what we believe to be this buck's range. It's not unbelievable that he could pop out here tonight, but it would be a surprise for sure.
I remain optimistic. My next moves will mirror my previous ones. Keep picking at the edge of Skinny's range, put in the time, and hope for luck. Today reminded us why we love the rut. Some of our hunters saw bucks they wouldn't see at any other time of the season. The woods just felt right. The pungent smell of fallen leaves filled the air, and the anticipation of a low grunt from nearby brush was ever present. Life could not get much better, because we are chasing November.